I can't remember that, but I know that my stepdad, every time he'd be like,
Back to Roll for Funny. My name's Alicia, and today is mine and Eric's 7-year anniversary.
it is.
Ooh.
We're not married. We're just friends.
Yeah, we're just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend zoned.
7-year friendiversary.
Hell yeah.
I'm Ryan, and I'm married to Grayson despite what everyone thinks.
I'm Grayson, and I am getting over being atrociously and disgustingly sick. So if I sound weird or don't talk as much, that's why.
Fucking sick, bro.
Who are you?
I'm Eric. I'm just Eric.
Yeah, man.
You're just
I'm
Eric.
just Eric. That's all.
I'm Eric.
Puppet frog man.
Are you going to the airport?
I'm airport.
I'm not going to the airport.
I know how to edit videos, Frogman.
Puppet frog man.
That was so funny. And normally I'm like, frog shit, damn
Talking
it.
frog puppet man.
But that's funny. That was hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fully, it's going to happen. The roast cast is 90% of the jokes are going to be about fucking Kermit. I know it. It's going to happen.
You're welcome.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the roast cast.
That's next, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta.
we got to start writing.
It's
This is
gonna be
gonna be
good.
the one I'm gonna spend like a week's worth of time.
Yeah,
on.
because you got to talk for like 15 minutes on your turn.
It
you
is
know?
not going to go that long.
No.
Guaranteed.
Oh, it is.
I'm not that
Not
good
for
at
me.
writing
No,
jokes.
you can do it.
No.
You are a brutal bully sometimes, Alicia.
You want to take bets on who's gonna cry first?
Look who's...
She's going to cry.
First of all, fuck you guys.
She is.
Second of all, look who's talking.
What?
A brutal bully?
Yeah, I'm not a
Grayson,
bully.
you're straight up confrontational.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm much less confrontational than you are.
No.
I'm
Let's be
confrontational
real.
with you guys because we're friends.
Yeah.
But if we were like talking to randos, I'd be running in the other direction and you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking say something.
Like, we've talked multiple times about, like, if anyone were to step out of line at our wedding, it's like you. You're going to be the one
Yes,
to throw
because I'm
them
a
out.
bridesmaid, though. But if I were a guest at the wedding,
I'd
that's
still
the
expect you to
problem.
do it.
I feel like I'm confrontational if I'm in a confrontational role.
Yeah.
But if I'm like at work or like with someone's family or something, like I will sit there and shut up even if I really probably should say something. And I've been like known for that, where I'm like, I probably should have said something, huh? And I don't. But like, as your bridesmaid, I'm like a bodyguard for
Well,
you.
of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if someone's acting up at your
No.
wedding,
I mean more so in the fact that like if somebody were like maybe not paying as much attention as they should in like a grocery store, you'd be like, excuse you. And I would walk all the way around the aisle just to avoid the
Yeah.
situation. Like I won't ask for ketchup at a restaurant. But you'd be like, excuse me, my food's wrong.
I don't know. Normally I don't turn my food back in if it's wrong, unless they're like purposely like rude, like obviously rude and shitty to me.
The only
from
time
the
I've ever
get-go.
sent my food back is like because my steak was so
Yeah.
rare I didn't want to eat it. Yeah.
I complain about people a lot. It doesn't mean I necessarily do anything
Yeah.
about it.
yeah.
I do too.
You complain in a much more confident way
Yeah.
than I feel like I could ever be. So, are we ready to roll for funny?
I'm ready to roll
ready.
for funny.
Let's go.
Ready.
Ooh.
I never roll good on these.
I rolled a 2, which I'm a 2 today. I mean,
I rolled a 3.
Get wrecked. 12.
10.
oh, babe, you're a 10 out of 10.
You're
2.
a 2 out of 0.18
Why 0.18?
because 2 is way higher than 0.18. So you're like more than double better.
That wouldn't be more than double, but yeah.
Okay, anyways.
Double
right?
0.18 is
Oh, yeah,
36.
yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, okay.
What?
Recovery mode over there.
I don't know. I'm exhausted, so like I'm probably doing some stupid shit.
I am too.
That's fair. Like we could use some funny today.
For real.
So anyways, today we're going to be
Bucking.
Nuck if
Yeah,
you buck.
apparently.
Right after.
Nuck if you buck.
we're going to be doing podcast-ception. We're going to be talking about podcasts on our podcast.
But first, book corner.
Oh.
But first, book corner. Thank you, because I was going to breeze straight through it and forget
I know,
again.
and I was going to talk about something and I forgot.
You had a book that you just finished that you're going to tell us
No,
about.
no. Then I was
So me
like,
and Eric
oh,
are
I'll
gonna-
talk about it on the podcast.
Are
And
you
then
sick?
No.
Eric and I are going to play a match of Call of Duty Mobile while you do Book Corner.
No.
Oh my
Hold
gosh.
on. Real quick before anything else. That was a drink?
Yes.
For some reason, in my brain, I swear to God, I don't know why. I thought you brought fries in here in that.
Eric, what goes in cups, buddy?
I don't know.
Whatever you want, actually.
But that was where my brain went immediately.
I'm on Ryan's
when
side.
I seen the cup.
But we had paper plates out, so why would I get a cup for it?
I don't know.
That we didn't have out, but I happen to know where they are in your cabinet and didn't want to make you do dishes, so I went and found one.
Yeah, I mean,
really
I'm
nice.
on your side anyways, but like, also Ryan made a great point.
No, I'm, like, the point is valid, but I've been drinking out of it the
Wait,
whole time.
I don't know.
Wait. Did y'all see that TikTok of the girl at a wedding and she was like filling her wine glass with mashed potatoes?
No, but I've seen weddings that do mashed potato bars in wine glasses.
Excuse me?
Yeah, no, she was just going
Genius.
out of her way to put.
There's such a
And
thing as a
never
mashed potato bar?
I was like, you're not the boss of me.
Why didn't we have one at our wedding?
Because we didn't pay for the food.
Oh, yeah.
You guys had good food though.
It was really good food.
What was that fucking TikTok where they were like, they opened that person's purse that they left at the bar? There was like a taco inside it or something.
Oh,
No, it was
yeah,
fries.
it was fries.
There's fries inside her, like, little
Hang on,
purse.
I've seen so many variations of this though, because I've seen fries, I've seen loaves of bread, and I saw a whole pitcher of like mixed drink.
That person stole from the restaurant.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know how you feel about stealing, but get over it.
What was I going to talk about?
Podcasts.
It is killing me.
Or a book. A book you just
No,
finished.
babe, we
I
just
said
discussed
both
that
of
it
those
wasn't a
things.
book. It was something, though, about like a life update thing. 'Cause you were like, yeah, we'll give updates too.
Yeah.
And now I'm like drawing a total and complete blank. I have no idea.
Wisteria.
Let's go through the big things that have happened. New job?
No,
Sick?
no,
That's all I got.
Cats not go over any more plants?
no.
Sure, it'll
Is it
come
about
back.
you falling asleep with a cough drop in your mouth?
Yes, please tell.
Fucking cough drop dip.
No, so, okay.
You have to do the full impression of how you
I'm
woke
going
up.
to.
Okay.
So as you can tell by all my hacking and stuff, I am sick. Well, I'm not like contagious sick anymore. I've been over it
Yeah.
for like probably 3 days now or so before I feel like I'm gonna give it to anyone or anything. I'm over the fever and all. It's just wrapping up. And I pretty much didn't have a voice at all yesterday. This is a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's gotten better throughout the day. It was really bad this morning, but poor Ryan has just been like, so, you know, we went from me being a housewife for like months to now me working full time. Mm-hmm. And for that transition period, I have been deathly ill. So like our house is just in ruins, and poor Ryan's like trying to do as much as he can when he gets home from work, because I've been like, the days I did go to work, I came home and like I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna lay down and like watch a YouTube video. No, I was going to sleep. I just didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
So like I would be fully clothed diagonal across the bed with a roll of toilet paper under my arm and a bunch of wadded up tissues in my hand. I had started a pile of dirty wadded up tissues on the floor because I just couldn't get out of bed.
Oh, so they replaced the cereal.
Yeah.
You took the joke right out of my mouth. I swear to God.
But poor Ryan, it would be like 7:30 at night, and
Yeah.
he's like just coming in there to like grab something off his nightstand or something, and I'm like can't breathe through my nose. I had a fever, so he'd like wake me up, and I would be talking all delusional, like about who knows what. Whenever I have a fever, I get like weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, also I'd get up at like 2 a.m. and just take a shower because I needed the steam. Like that kind of sick, you know, where I'm just like struggling.
Yeah.
So the other day, I fall asleep at like 8 o'clock at night or something. And I wake up at like 3 a.m. and it like hurts to breathe. Like it hasn't gotten to my lungs or bronchial tubes or anything yet,
Yeah.
but just all this just hurts. And I go get a cough drop and I lay back down and I've got like a freaking half gallon basically of orange juice that I've chugged and everything. And I lay down. I have to get up every like 2 hours to pee normally too.
Yeah.
So like it's like 3 a.m. and around then I normally stop having to pee because I try to take in a lot of fluids when I'm sick.
Yeah.
And stick a cough drop in my mouth and I'm like propped up and I'm like, cool, just stay awake until you're done with your cough drop and then you can go back to sleep. I woke up to his alarm going off at like 6:30 or something, probably.
5:30.
No, but you were already, like, you were hitting snooze and stuff because it was a lot later in the morning than that. But because I'd been asleep, I estimated like 3 or 4 hours when I, like, thought back to when I put the cough drop in my mouth. It might have been like 4 in the morning when I did it. I don't know. But I woke up with my, like, drink and then a wad of toilet paper and the toilet paper rolls and then a cough drop stuck up here.
In the top?
Yeah, of my lip.
Okay, hang on. Though, are we talking about like a Halls or like a Ricola?
It was a Halls.
Like the oval shape. Yeah, it's a Halls. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a menthol, like the blue
cheap
ones.
little
Best
blue
ones.
ones.
Oh no, those make
Those
me
are the
gag.
best.
I hate the taste and they make me feel nauseous, but they work the best.
Love those ones.
Yeah,
Except for those really strong, it starts with an S, that are the cherry flavor round ones that are in the puncture film.
Those will straight up make me fucking puke.
They numb your mouth. Those ones are the best. But anyway, so I wake up like just thankful that I didn't die in my sleep from choking on a. Because also I'm like can only breathe through my mouth.
Yeah.
So there's like a good chance that I would have just sucked it down, and then not been able to breathe. So I wake up, I'm like, oh, what? And I just crunch up the cough drop and finish it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy, man. And I tell Ryan about it, and he's like, oh my God. He was like, that's so scary. I can't believe you did that. And it sucks you wasted a cough drop. And I was like, I didn't waste it. I ate it. He just starts like cry laughing about it. Like it was the funniest thing ever. And I was like, what? And he was like, I just can't imagine. You're like a fucking dog. Like you wake up with a treat stuck in your lip. It's like, oh.
Just half asleep.
Because when she told me the story, she did the full impression of like how she woke up. She was like,
Yeah.
Okay, but like honestly, like as a food person, like I would love to wake up that way.
Yeah, but the thing that
Like if there was
sucked
a
most
snack right there.
is because I had chugged so much orange juice the night before. So all the acid in it can rip up your mouth already.
Yeah.
And then I'm breathing only through my mouth.
Yeah,
So
so
like
your
my
mouth's
lips
really
are chapped
dry.
and like it's cracking. My mouth's dry and had just had a bunch of acid sitting on it. And then this cough drop just sat and like barely dissolved in my mouth slowly all night. And I had like sores on my tongue from
Yeah.
it. So then the last like 3 days while that's been trying to recover, I have to be a mouth breather. And it's like, feels like there's pieces of glass in my mouth. It sucks. So I have been on these struggle bus. You know?
I think the entirely best part about it is that I woke up and got ready and go to work, and I kissed you before I went to work to say, bye, hope you have a good day, love you.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know it, but the whole time she had the cough drop.
That's what he said to me, too, when I told him the story. He was like, wait, so when I kissed you goodbye that morning, you had the cough drop in your mouth? And I was like, yeah. He was like, what? It was pretty funny.
You could have like,
Like here, one my cough drop.
Yeah.
It's a nice little snack for you to get to work.
Oh, my God.
If it makes you feel better, that little green thing on my desk is completely full of little Ricolas.
Aw.
Ever since Felicia gave them to me, I'm like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Yeah.
Yeah, poor Ryan, though, like, just back to the main part of the story, though, is just that every single day, basically, I've either stayed home from work or gotten off work and literally just, like, kind of blacked out.
Yeah.
And, like, I haven't been packing his lunches. I haven't been doing the dishes. I did a load of laundry and I cleaned our bathroom yesterday. But I have literally felt, like, useless or I'm at work.
Yeah.
So it's just been, like, a little bit of a rough transition.
all right, woman,
He's helping out so much, though.
it's time.
Which,
Doing all my chores for me.
I mean, you do what you can do.
Yeah.
Someone said that if you were at 60% and you give 60%, that's what you gave and you did your
You
best.
still gave
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how
Well, and
bad
that's
you're feeling.
like something me and Ryan discussed too. Like everyone's like, you have to give 100% and the other person has to give 100% too. And it's like, no, part of being a couple is like, sometimes I might only be at 10% and you have to be at 90.
Yeah.
Cause I can't, you know, and then like, it's going to go the reverse way too. And then it's going to equal out. But
Yeah,
Nice.
And that happens with a lot with us with nice. Like our mental states, like
Yeah.
for the last 2 weeks or last week or so, you've been having
was
a
the
real
state?
hard time.
Was
Yeah.
it Wyoming or North Dakota?
I mean, shut up.
North Dakota doesn't exist, first of all.
I know someone from North Dakota.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
They
don't
just claim to
exist.
be from
I
there.
could bring her on the podcast. She could talk about it.
We
She's
need
even
her
got the
name, social,
accent and
and birthday.
everything.
They don't have an accent. They don't
Yes, she
exist.
does.
She's Canadian.
North Dakota.
They're a figment of
Yeah.
your imagination.
No,
They don't
she's
exist.
real.
North Dakota and South Dakota are myths.
She's real, and she's a ginger, which is even crazier.
So she's a myth and she has no soul. Wow.
yeah.
So,
Get wrecked.
book corner.
Butt corner.
Book corner.
Cool.
I finished.
Eric story. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, f your story. I've been trying to get a book corner for 30 minutes.
Alex Story.
What's your story?
I forgot.
Good.
It's gone.
Aw.
Bad mental state.
You were saying, yeah, that you guys
Oh, yeah.
have been kind of struggling.
Yeah, that's like, we'll both have our weeks. Like, I think it was last week or the week before, you were having a really hard time because work's been really stressful for you.
Yeah, it's been not
No
fun.
matter how bad I'm having it or how bad of a mental state I'm having, I have to be there.
You got to
try
pick
and
up
help,
the slack. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you overact to try and make their day better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do that type of stuff for
And
them.
I feel like that was just you like a couple weeks ago. I remember talking about that. So it goes back and forth.
Yeah, it
For
does.
sure.
Okay, now you can do your book corner.
But gonna.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
So that's the new official jingle is Ricola, but book corner. But
Can we do
gonna.
one side thing before we do this?
What?
Wisteria.
Oh my God. Okay, so when you drive down the road going like towards the grocery
Yes,
store,
I know, they're
there's all the
beautiful.
wisteria and
Yeah.
it's gorgeous and I love it. I'm like, I just
And so
wanna
you're doing it to
grab
the Rihanna song?
He started
Yeah.
doing it,
Wait though.
but he didn't know what it was.
Oh my God.
So like we were walking through the grocery store and he's like, I don't know what song it is. Like it might be by like Beyonce or Rihanna or something. I was like, is it Disturbia? And it was like, yes, Disturbia.
Like I could not for the life of me think because like the closest thing I could think of was Mysteria.
Yeah.
That was all that was coming to my brain other than the other word I was using. I was like, I have no. I was like, I think it's a female hip hop artist, but I don't know the names.
Yeah. And then ever since
Wisteria?
then,
Yeah.
he's been going around Wisteria.
Wisteria is
All
so
day.
pretty though. And yeah, our like the whole drive to y'all's house is just
Tons of purple
tons
wisteria.
of it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. I know.
I really want to go take some pictures.
I really want to pick some.
Yeah.
Because she was just driving.
Put it in
past
the
me. She's
bridal
like,
bouquets.
I just want to touch it with my hands. It
Yes.
looks fluffy.
Little-
Just a little pinch. Get a little pinch.
Okay. So book corner.
But kinda.
Book corner. I finished Song of the Marked. It was trash. Straight up. It was horrible. And I was really mad at the end. Like, it was like,
Is that the one you were telling me the prologue last night?
no.
Okay.
No. So that's a new book that I'm reading. Song of the Marked is now 3 books past since we got to do a book corner on the podcast. It was like the little like mercenary girl, and she was like in the kingdom without magic. The whole book, the guy never had any redeeming qualities. The what is it?
Antagonist, protagonist.
No, like when they like the grand reveal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like was very like you could see it coming from a mile away.
The climax.
Yeah. It was it was written like it was a YA book, but they said and then they threw a sex scene in it at the end that was
For those that don't know,
very
YA stands for young adults.
I was just about to say, I know it means young adults, but
Shitlins.
when you say YA, I'm always like a book.
Yeah.
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 book.
A
Yeah, book. Yeah.
That was horrible.
It was.
You're going to have to roll for that,
What?
Miss Ma'am.
I missed
Ma'am.
whatever it
Roll
was.
It's so
for that.
funny that
She
you
said,
say
yeah,
that because
but
I
yeah.
called a little girl Miss Ma'am at work today, and everyone was like, "I love that!" Like they hadn't heard it before.
What? Really?
I call people Miss Ma'am.
I
all
call
the
my
time.
cats that all the time.
20.
She's funny, Ryan.
didn't even shake it. You just set
Wow.
it down and do
No, it
I rolled
rolled.
a real 20.
It rolled.
And you better laugh hysterically right now.
Come on, Ryan.
That's my turkey.
That was such a loud moment.
Well, no, you did the turkey wrong.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
There
Turkey.
you go.
Yeah, so that book
You're
was
the butt.
that book was trash. They are boys, children.
Oh, butts.
Then I read Haunting Adeline. Is that what you're drinking out of now?
Yep.
Love it. I read Haunting Adeline, which there is literally a full page of trigger warnings before you read the book. It is a stalker romance It is a lot of like kink triggers, like non-con, dub-con kind of stuff. Dark stuff.
I don't know what that means.
Non-con is non-consent or dubious consent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
I think that's all I said. Beautiful. He's making art, y'all.
It's a pour spout.
Picasso.
I like it, Picasso.
I actually need that.
So yeah, not what I'm into, but it was a good book because she's like a writer and like lives in like her like family's house, and she finds her like great grandmother's notes in the wall, and she knows her great grandmother was murdered, but she doesn't know by who. And as she's reading her diary, she finds out her grandmother or her great grandmother also had a stalker, and is like trying to read through the diary like to figure out if he's the one that killed her because they never solved her murder. Meanwhile, she's also being stalked by this guy who's like trying to make her fall in love with him. And he's all big and scary, but he's like this mercenary who takes down human trafficking rings. So he's like knows he's doing a really bad thing, but can't help it. But then like goes to work and does all these really great things. And I also read the sequel to that where unfortunately the main character got human trafficked, and it was really dark. Like, I would not recommend Grayson to read it because you'd probably have some freaky fucking nightmares. Yeah. Knowing how your brain goes.
I would end up being the villain somehow.
Speaking
I
of
would be the
nightmares,
person doing the trafficking in your.
Yeah, I had a dream that Ryan was cheating on me the other day.
Yeah, see.
Another one?
Yeah, but this one was like not like before where he was just like. What was the other one that I had where he cheated on me?
He was
because I don't think he like cheated on me, but yeah, he went and stayed with his ex-girlfriend in like a hotel because they were trapped and couldn't drive anywhere. Yeah, and I was like, I was upset with him, but no, I dreamt this time that like I went through his phone for some reason.
Yeah,
and it wasn't looking for anything. I just like had to use his phone for something, and I found stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like using like Kick Messenger or something, which neither of us even has downloaded. Yeah.
Sus.
And I went and looked, and it was like some girl. Yeah. And that he like thought it was funny when I confronted him about it. And I was like, this is weird.
Speaking of dreams, I had one recently.
You had a dream recently?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually about both of y'all.
He woke up and told me, and I was like, write that down.
Yeah.
Literally. And I only remember like 5 seconds of it, but we were all, so me and Ryan were standing in the kitchen. And you two were in the living room. You were putting your shoes on. And Ryan was like, you can't say that. And you said, I can't help it that their house smells like diamonds. I don't know. But it was literally, so the scene, like what I remember was literally from when y'all were here Monday.
Yeah.
Like everything was the same.
Yeah. What's funny, it's funny you say that. It almost freaks me out a little bit because when we got in the car, I was like, wow, I didn't plan on us staying there that late. Mm-hmm. And Ryan was like, yeah, well, Eric pointed out that you took your shoes off. Mm-hmm. So we may as well stay a while. So it's weird that like that was what he noticed from the whole night, and then that was in your dream too.
Well, like that was the thing because like me and him were standing in here, and I was like trying not to be rude because I don't want y'all to leave because I haven't seen y'all in so long, and I was like I want to hang out, but I was like trying to figure out if we could get into anything. Like us playing COD on our phones.
I was about to say, like, quick synopsis of what Eric did last night. He was like, were you guys going to hang out? Because she took her shoes off. And I downloaded COD Mobile. And so it's like, I'm in.
What are we doing? Because I thought y'all were just going to drop the thing off and leave, because that's normally what you do when you come and drop the podcast off. But then you were on the couch, like, all cuddled up with Reese, and you had your shoes off. And I was like, it kind of feels like we're going to stay for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fine. I'm cool with that because I want to hang out, but I can't do that anything.
You want to play COD?
Hell yeah!
It was so funny too.
We should stream some.
Look, I had my barefoot shoes on earlier, so like they're super. You're basically walking on nothing, right? And so I was doing this, but with my toes.
Oh my god! I was cracking up.
I was like, this is the new thing, but it's with your toes.
That's ridiculous, Eric. Too woo.
Yeah, well, that dream was weird. It was
back on the topic of books. I'm glad you had a dream, though, to share with us, because no one ever has them. I have a bunch.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you do.
I just went through my notes to be like, do I have any more? And I have like 3 I don't think I've told y'all.
I haven't had any.
Nice.
Which I could tell y'all some of them. but that's not what this podcast is, so it would take too long. But I've been having a lot of like repetitive dreams about, like, I know I told you guys I had one about Alicia trying to kill us, all of us, and
Not
then
surprised.
Like a machine gun, right?
yeah. And like we went to your mom's house.
Why do I not remember this?
I told you about it. I sent it in the group text.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to say we
it's
talked
been a
about it on
minute.
the podcast too.
We might
Call of Duty
have.
REM.
Yeah.
And then I had a dream. I have a lot where me and Ryan are in downtown Atlanta, and he like leaves me behind or refuses to get out of a dangerous situation with me where I know something's up, and he's like being too trusting of what's going on. And I kind of leave knowing that he's probably going to get hurt or robbed or killed or something. But like, he won't listen to me, and I'm not going to say. You know what I mean?
You told us about that dream too on the last podcast.
Yeah, so I've had a couple different like scenarios where that's happened in my dreams, but recently I've just been dreaming about my job, which is stressful. I won't go into what I do for a living because I don't feel like it's podcast appropriate, but
Stressful
anyway.
though. Huh? Stressful though.
Yeah, it's a high stress job. So no, I finished another Colleen Hoover book, which was a good story, but disappointing in that it was the same
Premise.
story as the other one. Like, both of them was like the main love interest at the beginning gets killed in a car wreck. Both of them, the woman that he was with goes after the man that she shouldn't now that he's dead. One of them was his like brother and the other one was his best friend. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing where it's just like, it's the same story with a different background setting and different characters. Yeah. So they're not badly written books or anything. They're just extremely predictable. And they're like spicy, you know? But the thing is, they're spicy like midway through, and it's always just once. Like, it's not like a repetitive, which I kind of like because it's like a lot of build up to like the romance part. She does a really good job with because it's not like, oh, I met him and I'm just in love now and everything's perfect. Like, there's this.
So you like a slow burn?
Yes, I'm about to slowly burn these men though.
Every time I have to see Eric's face edited big on the screen, making a popping noise, I'll start smacking you guys.
Let me give you another
You realize that means it's going to appear right here.
Next to you.
And just be like.
Hold on. Just.
You want a smoothie?
Smoothie.
Wait, where did that come from?
Alyssa Schlesinger.
Because guess what Ryan did to me the other day?
Ryan!
Where did that come from anyway?
He texted me.
Vine.
No, oh, it's a Vine? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He texted me and was like, hey, do you want Planet Smoothie? And I was like, it was like 10 minutes later, I saw the text and I was like, yes. He was like, oh, too bad I already left. What?
No. Give full context. I had to go to the vape shop.
Wait, the one here?
Yeah.
No, the next town up. Anyway, I had to go to the vape shop, and I was like, I had to get juice, and it was right next to a Planet Smoothie. And I was like, you want a Planet Smoothie? And the vape shop had a sign on the door that said, be back in 5 minutes. And I waited like 10 or 15 minutes, and they never came back. And I was like, so I'm leaving then. And she hadn't texted me back yet. And about halfway down the road, she's like, yeah, I want da-da-da-da. I was like, sorry.
Yeah. I was so mad, though, because I wanted it so bad.
Just to be clear, I did not get myself Planet Smoothie and then not get her.
No, I wasn't trying to make it sound like that.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Nobody got Planet Smoothie.
Nobody got Planet Smoothie, including me, and I really wanted it.
We have a really bad habit now when we go to the grocery store on the way out. We're like, you want Starbucks?
Yeah.
Every time.
We went to the store specifically because we had no drinks in our fridge except for
5 things.
And we only got like 7.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, especially for
when
me.
I need 5, I end up with like 40. So.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
We needed drinks because all we had in our fridge was literally Mike's and beer.
Yeah.
3 beers.
That's all you need.
No.
Well, not if you
tap
only got
water.
3.
There was only 3 left. And there was 1 bottle of water left this morning, which you drank.
Yeah.
There was 3 mics in there, and that was it.
Yeah, so we went and we got a bunch of drinks. We got some more cake mix so we can make cookies. I'm really sad they didn't have the banana pudding one at that grocery store, so we're gonna have to go to the Walmart.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's where I got it. It was Walmart.
Okay.
The Dolly Parton brand.
Yeah. But then on the way out, we had to like pass the little Starbucks kiosk, and he was like, "We get Starbucks."
Yeah.
And I was like, "When the fuck do I not want to get Starbucks?"
Well, no, that whole thing started because I misunderstood what you were saying because there was that dude staring.
Yeah, they had like a little sign outside with like the summer drinks or whatever, and this guy was just sitting there staring at it. And on the way in, I was like, "That guy's thinking real hard about whether or not he wants a pink drink."
Yeah.
And so when we were walking, he's like, "Oh, I thought you said you wanted a pink drink." I was like, first of all, when have I ever drank a pink drink?
Never, but like I was like, I remember
really
you saying something
good.
specific about it, and that's what stuck in my brain. So I was like, "Oh, you want this?" So I need to remember
Alicia
that
wants Starbucks.
you want Starbucks before we leave.
I am very appreciative of the fact that you remembered that I made a dumbass comment walking into the grocery store, and I got to get a treat
It's super
because
cute.
of it.
Even though,
He's like, I gotta remember
Even
this
though
thing you said.
I was really just trying to talk shit about this guy standing in the way of the door.
It's funny that you're getting credit for being sweet, even though really you just weren't listening very well.
Yeah, he wasn't listening very well to me being an asshole.
Yeah.
I heard part of it.
Yeah, you heard pink drink.
I heard
Starbucks is what you
I
heard.
don't remember.
He was like, girl likes Starbucks, her like
Literally.
pink, girl pink.
Bye.
Bye. Belt.
Belt.
One of my favorite videos. Oh gosh,
Keep your pants up on stage.
Built.
I tried to find that on the soundboard that I downloaded, and it was just on there. But the is on there.
Of course it is. Alrighty, so I guess into the meat of today's actual podcast is
Meat
I'm a
and taters.
vegetarian.
Then eat the taters.
other people's podcasts.
So, I listen to 3 podcasts. One is the Roll for Funny podcast.
Hell yeah.
Here we are. It's wonderful.
Hello.
Even funnier listening to it
And
the
then-
second time.
I listen to Jenna Julian podcast,
Of
which
course.
is discontinued now.
So go back and watch episodes.
Yeah, I
though.
re-listened to Jenna Julian podcast, and then the only I'll watch like one-offs of other people's podcasts sometimes, like especially like a lot of like motivational type self-help ones and stuff. Like I'll find one that's on a topic I'm struggling with or something and listen to just that. But I don't ever really repeat any of them.
Yeah.
But the main one that I listen to that I love, that I've heard almost every episode of, is Morbid. It's these 2 girls, and they're fantastic. Their personalities are just awesome, and they have a way of getting into like the most detailed I've ever heard true crime stuff. Like, because I watch a lot of like the true crime and makeup videos and stuff. They never get into the like nitty gritty of everything and the like theories and like deeper roots and history of the crimes like these 2 girls do. And like, but they somehow keep it, I don't know how, but lighthearted-ish. I appreciate that a lot.
Do they do like one crime per episode, or do they like deep dive over multiple episodes?
So it depends on the crime. So if they're able to cover it in one, they try to. There's one out there that's like 6 parts.
Oh, wow.
And then they also, some of my favorite ones is they do listener write-ins. It's called Listener Tales. And I actually want to write in and tell the story of my camping trip.
Yeah.
With the panty that we found. Yeah, so
The panty raid.
yeah.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Jesus. So I need to write in with that because that would be a good one. But yeah, so they have like listener write-ins where they might tell like ghost stories or how like someone in their family was, part of a murder or something. Yeah, and
murdered.
they're just
almost there. I was about to do it.
They're really cool, and they're into a lot of like the same music and pop culture stuff that I am.
Yeah.
So when they get off topic, they're talking about stuff I care about too. So just like, I really enjoy their podcasts. I listen to them when I'm on like long road trips by myself.
Yeah.
So, but that's literally it. I don't really like, for someone that is on a podcast, you'd think I'd listen to more of them.
Yeah.
And I guess technically, 2 Hot Takes is a podcast. I watch it on YouTube, so I see it as a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Which is weird because
I think the same thing about Jenna Julian. Like, it is a podcast, but I always watched it on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't count it as like listening to a podcast because I'm just watching like a talk show YouTube, basically.
That's how I got it confused on the way over here. That's the way I kind of feel about like the Cinnamon Toast Ken. Like, they're short videos, like, and it's definitely them reviewing clips, but it's very much in a podcast-esque.
Love Cinnamon Toast Ken.
Don't know what
He's
that
like
is.
my favorite YouTuber
You don't know who Cinnamon
right
Toast
now.
Ken is? God,
What a buff
loser.
Wow.
gosh.
Damn, Grayson, did you get me my fucking trash can?
Get in it.
It's right behind you.
No, did you ever watch, like, Ray William Johnson?
Yes.
And they all got, like, that. There's a group
Like
of
Equals
YouTubers.
3, I used to
that
watch
kind-
Equals 3.
Yeah, there's a group
Okay.
that kind of got, like, popular at the same time and
Okay.
all. And Cinnamon Toast Ken was one of them.
And I haven't seen anything from him in a while. Like, I haven't watched any of that stuff.
To be fair, I've only seen, like, maybe 5 of the videos. I just know who he is because
Yeah.
of the Tism. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have 2 things to add. Have y'all seen the Onision's being sued again? But like
Again.
but like apparently it's gonna be like
I don't know who
bad.
that is.
Good.
Like him and his wife both are probably gonna go to jail.
Good. He's a horrible trash person.
Yes.
Who is that?
And I have
YouTuber.
He was a YouTuber.
Banana guy. I'm a banana.
Wait, was that really him?
Yeah.
I did not know that. But yeah,
I was a big fan of his when I was in like middle school.
lots of
but-
screwing around with underage girls. And
Yeah.
just short.
And it, like he's admitted to
Just-
So the usual.
Yeah.
With his banana.
Just roll.
Oh, God.
to
it. Yeah.
Not funny.
deserve that.
But yeah, like really just short of trafficking.
Okay.
Like it's pretty gross.
So
Yeah.
the usual you find with people who get caught on YouTube and TikTok and
Yeah.
All right. So I've listened to quite a bit, although I think the ones that I've listened to are definitely different than everybody else's. That stuff that I listen to is mainly just dumb stuff. Like the big one that I started listening to last year is a podcast called Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe podcast it's literally just a bunch of vets who are like gamers and they just talk shit for an
You
hour
showed
and a
me
half.
one of theirs
Yeah.
one night.
Is that the one that Nico Ortiz was on a lot? Okay.
So he's been there. He's been on there a couple times. He's one of the regulars, and so is Francis, whatever his name is, the really big dude on TikTok. I
you
can't
say
remember his-
Francis, and all I can
he's-
think of is Deadpool.
No, he's a really big dude on
Francis
TikTok.
Copeland.
Oh God, I can't remember. Anyways, so he's on there, and they just talk shit the whole time because it's just a bunch of vets.
Yeah.
And the reason I started listening to it is that
You're a vet gamer.
well, one of the reasons that it made me so like when I listen to podcasts, it's just like I can't listen to it unless I can feel like I'm in the situation in
Yeah, like
any
you're-
way, shape, or form.
Listening to your friends chit
Yes,
chat. Yeah.
and that's the feeling I got because it reminded me of the time I just sat there and bullshit with my friends when I was in the army, just talking shit about nothing for hours on end, and then that I don't know, it gave me a weird comfort thing, right? So
Yeah.
like they bring different people on now that they've gotten decently big enough because like when I started watching, they only had like I think 30,000.
For the record, y'all are all shaking my mic, and I see your leg
I know, I just
touching the
punched-
table.
I just punched
Your
the table
chair
a
is
little bit.
touching the leg.
Apply directly to
I'm
the forehead.
so sick of I don't really I don't watch it because like while it's going on because I can't just sit there and watch something, but I'll see a flash of yellow and red. I'm like, who the and I'll go and rewind it so I
You
can
can't watch
it again.
anything directly anyways.
It's the ADHD.
You need your phone.
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, I was always drawing, and then I got older and I got a fucking cell phone. So yeah.
But that was a weird comfort thing for me
I'm
that
bad
I
at
got
drawing
from
now.
that specific podcast for a while. And every once in a while I would listen to like clips or short videos of like Joe Rogan stuff because Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining like astrophysics and other random stuff to
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is just really funny.
Yeah, I like a lot of the Joe Rogan ones too. It's the ones I've watched.
And then another one I recently got into is very new. They're pretty big on TikTok, but it's called To Be Better. And it's one of the ones I showed you a clip from their TikTok that was of their podcast.
Yeah.
It's this couple and they're in a traditional relationship or like
Traditional values.
traditional values relationship where they have what they call pink jobs and blue jobs, right? So like men and women jobs. So like he
They're
works
like traditional gender roles. Yeah.
right. So like they're in one of those and they go and they read emails from people talking about their issues and giving advice on things like that, on how to be better and stuff like that. And it's been really interesting to listen to because most of it does not apply to us at all. Like, not at all. I was
going to say, I'm actually really surprised that you, of all people, between the two of you, listen to that.
And that's what I was saying before, like, in the part that we, like, we're cutting out, is that it's not something that I normally would be into, because it's not something that applies to us at all.
Yeah.
There's very few things in our lifestyle that actually apply to that.
Yeah.
Like, we have maybe 2 things we could count where that
Alicia does the dishes.
I take the trash out, I do the lawn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And that's pretty much the extent of that for us. Because
I would be interested in listening to that one, because that's something that I do believe in fairly firmly.
Honestly, take a look at it.
That we kind of put into practice in our lives. So
grasp it firmly. Sorry.
Oh my God.
It's really interesting, honestly.
You mean firmly grasp it, first of all, you
Firmly
uncultured swine.
Oh.
Because,
wow.
She called you a pig.
Don't up a SpongeBob quote, dude.
It's super interesting because they get all these people who write into them, and they always start their podcasts out like, we're not professionals. We're just people who've been through a ton of shit in our lives and are just applying our experiences to the stuff that you send us.
Yeah.
And they're very clear, like, if you only send us one side of a story, we're going to give you our opinion on that one side.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to give you any information.
Yeah, just
on
like when we
else.
do like the Am I the Asshole ones. You're just taking it for face value.
Yeah, and they'll get people who write in about their life and wanting advice, and it's just really interesting to listen to. But also there's some stuff that's kind of interesting in one of the things that we talked about before, which I'm not going to go into right now, but it's just kind of interesting to listen to them giving the advice and stuff.
Statement/questions for that. So for one statement, I think it's super cool that you're willing to like go find something and listen to it and like see someone else's perspective that's not yours. Mm-hmm. I think that's neat, because a lot of people don't. They find what they seem like they care about, like especially on political views and stuff, and they just surround themselves with only that, and you like can't call yourself open-minded or anything. Like you can't even say like, oh, I'm against this opinion or something if you've never even thought about having that opinion or what it would mean to you, or like trying to debate the other side. So that's cool. But my other question is like, so what do you think about their advice? Like, do you agree with most of it, or?
Yeah, sometimes I haven't had a whole ton of time to go through everything that they've done.
Yeah, but like just from what you've seen, like
a lot of it
is it good advice?
Yes. Like, a lot of it, yeah. Honestly, some of it is in that relationship, though.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
For us, a lot of that does not work.
Yeah.
Right, because one of the things that is he's the only one who works. Right. Mm-hmm. She is a stay-at-home mom / wife. She takes care of just about everything. However, some of the things that happen in their relationship is it works and kind of meshes with how we are already, is that they both do things to better the household, in that, like, if dishes need to be done, he'll do them. Yeah. It's not because it's not his wife's job to do them. If it need to be done and she's busy, he'll do them. Yeah. However, she's more likely to do them all the time, right? That's something I feel like people don't understand about traditional relationships a lot of the time, is they, like, if you tell someone, like, yeah, I'm, like, want to be like a traditional wife, you know, they automatically assume that you mean like that your husband's going to get home and that you better greet him at the door and have food on the table. Yeah. That's not like it. You can be a traditional wife in modern times. Yeah. And like still expect your husband to help you with the dishes at the end of the day, even if he worked all day. Yeah. But you did just as much at home, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think with both men and women, there's a really big misunderstanding about it, because like women have that, oh, I have to do everything for my husband, so I don't want to be that housewife, versus men who are like, my wife better do everything for me if I'm the only one working. Yeah. Like there has to be a balance. Yeah. And like, you have to come to an understanding about what works for you in your relationship. Listen here, woman, I'm only going to tell you once. The peanut butter to jelly ratio is 60-40. Listen, if you had Q peanut butter, you wouldn't have this problem. Oh my God. Well, so I don't mean to like turn the whole podcast into this now, but this is fun. A topic that I really love. I've been really into it lately. Like I've been, it's kind of consuming my YouTube content like lately. We could do an entire podcast on this topic, because I am like obsessed with traditional living, and I follow a lot of it, and I don't listen to any podcasts on it though, so that's cool. But so I'm gonna make a note for us to maybe do this as a podcast, but maybe pick a couple of us to play devil's advocate. Yeah, so, that'd be cool. And like one of the things that they talk about a lot is that traditional relationships are shunned in modern times.
Yeah.
Like, heavily.
Yeah.
And that's because a lot of people are not tricked, but
into
misled
feminism.
into what their partner believes a traditional relationship should be.
Yeah.
Right? One of the examples they use in one of their podcasts is, and the husband gets pissed.
Yeah.
Like, he is visibly, like, angry. And it's that they're reading, one of their send-ins was saying that the husband got up from the table and left his dirty plate on the table.
Yeah.
And expected his wife to pick it up and clean it for him. Right?
Yeah.
And he got visibly mad. Like, you take my plate to the sink every, like,
If I get up before you.
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah,
So
it's an offer, not...
And I do the same thing.
Not an expectation. Yeah.
If I get up and finish my dinner before her, which is usually
Most
90%
of the time,
of the
you
time,
inhale your food.
yeah, 90% of the time I'm done with my food before you, and I will get up and take our trash to the trash can or our place to the sink, right? And it was one of the things that were like, she's not your fucking mom.
Yeah.
Right? She is not there to clean up after you and wipe your ass, right?
Yeah. She's there, if you're in a traditional relationship, to make your home comfortable and livable, not to wait on you.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it is a partnership.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I saw, this is like slightly off topic, so we can end it after this if you need to and move on. But I saw something, and I think that I asked you about it yesterday. It could have been you. Maybe. I think I did. About the interviews that people were doing on the streets.
Oh, yeah. We did talk about it a little bit. It was
just me and you, so I'm interested to see what the guys think about it. But this guy was going to, like, drunk people leaving clubs and stuff. You know, like they do little street interviews on YouTube and stuff. And he was asking all these girls, like, and this is where I say, like, they get tricked into what they think is traditional relationships, or they don't attempt a traditional relationship because they've made you think that it's, like...
bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Or
that you're not independent as a woman, or like you don't have as much value as a woman. And so you get like forced down this path of like new age feminism where you think that you're way more empowered than you are. Yeah. And it's like, you're still just a human. Men and women are just humans, and we both bring different things to the table.
Yeah.
And one is not more important than the other, but they are very different.
Yeah.
And that's the whole viewpoint on, like, to me, on the whole traditional marriage and, you know, household thing.
And going back to, like, a lot of the things that they believe in is not necessarily something that I don't disagree with, but I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Is that one of the things they mentioned is that when they first got together, she was still going to bars a lot and getting drunk and just partying and like that. And he had the... not issue, but like he had a bad feeling about it. So one night he was like, "Hey, if you're gonna go to bars, like I don't feel comfortable with you doing this."
Yeah.
And she was like, "All right, I'm done with it."
Yeah.
No more.
I mean, we had something like that right when we started dating. Ryan was like, "I don't really feel like you need to have Snapchat." Like, and he was like, "You can keep it, you know, like whatever." But like, what were you using it for before? And I was like, literally to talk to dudes from Tinder, so I didn't have to give them my number because everyone I care about has my number. So I was like, well, if it makes him more comfortable, delete it. It doesn't bother, you know what I mean? Because I care about him more than I care about, like, whether or not my friends can send me stupid filtered photos. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't matter that much to me. But the question, what I was getting at, though, was the people coming out of the bars. I'm just interested to see what y'all think about this. They were asking people, like, okay, is it wrong if you're a girl to go on Tinder and put on your profile, no short guys or no guys under 6 foot? He was like, is that wrong? And they were all like, no, of course not. Like, it's totally fine to have a preference. You know, like, nobody should be hateful of that. You're putting it out in the open, what you believe, like what you want, and that's fine. And like, on some points, I agree with them. You know, like,
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm going to look like an asshole, and I'm fine with it.
Yep, I'm fine with it.
So then, like, all the girls were like, yeah, of course, that's totally fine for us to do that. Like, we should be able to do that. And then he was like, okay, so is it okay for men to go on dating profiles and say, no fat women?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely
they were,
okay.
well, all of the women that he interviewed were like, absolutely not. That's horrible, and you're being discriminatory, and, like, it's hurtful, and, like, you shouldn't. And he straight up asked, like, so does that mean that, like, women get to have a preference and men don't. And these girls literally said yes. Of
course they did.
That they don't think men should get to have a preference. And it's like, what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
That's so great that you are literally, like, these girls were coming out in, like, almost no clothes from bars, drunk, which is fine. I like to go to bars and have fun and dress up and stuff, too. Like, I'm not trying to hate on these girls, but, like, do you think, like, beyond some, like, really pretty girl that's dressed modestly and is, like, willing to, like, give this guy healthy, happy children and take care of his house, like, you think that you get to say all that and have that kind of preference? Like, that's how I felt about it, but I don't know how.
No, I agree 110% from, like, even from single life. Like, yes, absolutely anyone and everyone in the world is absolutely allowed to have a preference. I don't give a what your preference is. You can have a preference. I don't care. But you can't say that somebody else can't have a preference because it hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm on the same boat. Like, you can't have it one, like, you can't be both.
Yeah.
Can't be both.
Yeah, you literally can't have it both ways.
But
that's where New Age feminism has pushed these women, and
funny,
it's sad.
I just read an article about something like that.
Yeah.
About there's a woman who's become viral on TikTok because of this rule system she has for dating dudes. It's called the 6 foot rule. Because a lot of girls only prefer dudes who are over 6 foot or 6 foot in general.
Bad for the tall women of the world.
Right? I don't give a shit. If you were literally 6 foot, I would not care.
Really quick, I will say, I don't know if you can agree with me as a man, but I promise you 95% of men are about to agree with me. Like, if I was single and, like, a tall one wanted to date me, I'd be like, fuck, let's go for a ride.
Take me home, you Amazonian
queen.
Seriously,
fucking let me climb on your fucking back.
Yeah.
But also, height doesn't matter when you're horizontal. Just saying.
I love you.
I don't care.
That's
Seriously.
the intro clip.
You're yelling a little bit.
I will climb
spirited.
I will climb you like a tree. I don't care. I'm short. I am 5'5". I have never had a chance with.
And you somehow found an even shorter woman.
Usually I have, right? I don't think I've dated a single girl who was taller than me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Me and Ryan are almost right
like
at the same height.
the same.
You're like an inch taller than me.
5'10", 5'11", maybe.
I'm 5'6", but
oh, then I'm like 5'6".
I think you're like 5'8" or 5'9".
Like 5'10", 5'11", maybe.
You're
like,
definitely you're at least a few inches taller than me.
It depends on which gas station I'm walking out of.
Oh, okay.
It also depends what boots I'm wearing.
Yeah.
But
terrible.
I don't care how tall you are, right? I'm fucking short.
Yeah.
I have no opinion on it. But there's this chick who has got this 6 foot rule, and her friends have been using this to gauge guys on Tinder and dates and stuff they were going on. And the rule was they start out at whatever height they are, right? And then they add or take away an inch depending on a certain set of rules they have for, like, personality or, like, how they look.
So it's height, but not really height?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, if they
you can earn height if you're a hot or short guy?
Yes, exactly,
yeah, okay.
right? And that's the whole thing that they've been
or if
doing.
you have a better personality.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, if you have a personality and you're 6 foot tall, you're now f***ing 5'11".
Yeah.
Right? That's the whole thing, is that you can be 6'4".
I kind of like that, though, because even though it's, like, dumb that she made this whole thing, like, just go get to know people and figure out if you like them. It doesn't have to be that serious, but at least it's not fully based on just, you're not tall, even though you could be my dream guy and you're nice to me and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like there's this hard borderline with, like, the whole, like,
get there.
you have to be attracted to people. Don't be a dick. You have to be attracted to people to want to be with them. And I don't deny that for anybody. I'm not going to be with someone I'm not attracted to. Aww. You know? So, but.
Penetrating eyes.
Not
penetrating
a good
eyes.
enough reason to say penetration.
So.
Why isn't it?
But, like.
It's just a quote from a movie.
But, like. Sorry. At the same time, like, I saw another thing online the other day where someone was like, you know, you're not willing to date the guy in the friend zone that would treat you really well and would love you and everything because you're not attracted to him. And they were, like, kind of saying that, like, that's messed up and that you should give them a chance and everything. And I don't necessarily agree with that because I've had that guy.
I have so many full arguments for that.
Yeah, like you are not obligated to anyone because they're nice to you.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm like, literally, my worst date story that I told on the Valentine's cast was that guy.
They could be perfect for you personality-wise, and if you're not, like, sexually enticed by them in any way, it's not going to work, and that's okay.
I've dated a lot of people that I thought were really great, and then, like, physically, it was just never going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's just not, it's not it, you know? And that's totally fine, but, like, there's got to be some type of limit to where, like, you're not dating just for looks, but you're also not just
an idiot.
Yeah,
some of these bitches really be out here like the limit does not exist.
Yeah.
Because
they better be hot.
They better be hot. They better be 6 foot. They better be making a ton of money.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, because like we met on Tinder.
Yeah.
And when I saw him, I was like, he's short. But then we had a really, really good fucking date.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
No, he's short.
Well, and for me,
gave short homie a chance.
Well, the thing is too, like for me to think somebody's short, like they have to be
that's
short.
Small.
Yeah. I am. Honestly, one of the funniest things.
I think you're pretty average, but then again,
he was also skinnier back then too.
Oh yeah, no, I was so like he was 30 pounds skinnier.
You're like 5'5".
Yeah.
And he was definitely skinnier because he was, we're still in the army and having to work out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a small dude.
Yeah, I'm short.
And that's fine. He's taller than me, and that's all that matters. But yeah, so when I showed up, and of course I was on Tinder, and I was not looking for a relationship, so I was like hanging out with whoever, and most people are a little taller than 5'5". So I showed up and I was like, this guy's like my height.
Yeah.
But we had a really good date, and like I didn't walk away because I saw he was short, And some girls would.
I want to put $5 on it right now. Did one of your Tinder pictures? Was one of your Tinder pictures you and Buddy or you and Reese?
All of them. I had both dogs.
You did have both dogs, but you also had the picture of somebody edited an explosion behind you.
Oh yeah, one of my buddies.
God.
Yeah.
I was literally standing.
Cool guys don't look at fires.
I was literally standing at a gas pump.
Yeah.
And someone had taken a picture of me from the car, and one of my buddies photoshopped an explosion behind it.
That's amazing.
It's probably still on your Facebook.
I'm just standing there with my hands in my pockets, and I have like aviators on. I'm just staring off into the distance.
That was the one she saw when she was like, yes.
No, there was a cute selfie that was like, oh, he's got dogs and he's kind of cute. Okay.
I saw it. Well, not to. It's on topic, but the same video that I watched that was like a compilation of all those interviews with those women and stuff was roasting girls that like you on Tinder, though. Yeah, where they were like,
that's fine.
It's fine. Like, it's fine. I'm not saying this is unjustified either, because I feel like you shouldn't go to Tinder with expectations. And everybody should know that by now.
Oh, yeah.
But they were saying that, like, it's getting to, like, there's this whole movement of younger men that are deciding to just live life on their own. Yeah. And that if a nice enough girl comes along, that maybe they'll go for it. But they're not really trying anymore because women are trash right now.
Like,
well,
I mean, like, if we've gotten into this weird stage where instead of men being players, women are players. Yeah. Like, my friends literally talk about how they have a roster. Yeah. And they got standards on that roster. And I laugh at it, and I think it's so funny. I'm like, good for you. I'm glad that makes you happy.
Yeah.
But also, as millennials, statistically, we're getting married later.
Yeah, and the thing that he was saying, though, is like, he was like, men come to Tinder for something different than women come to Tinder for. And women seem to think that it's sex. But it's like, it's become that.
Yeah.
Because when they tried to go to Tinder or a dating app, they'd swipe on 100 girls and maybe one would respond to them. Even if they're like attractive men and they have all this stuff to offer, because women are coming onto Tinder literally just to be swiped on and bring up their self-esteem and have a free dinner every now and then, and really don't intend on having much sex, which is fine. You're not obligated to have sex with anyone.
Especially not if they buy you dinner. Like, no.
Yeah, no, you're not obligated to have sex with anyone, whatever. But they're not on there for relationships. They're on there for a self-confidence boost, which I used it for that too. I'm not going to lie. I had no intention of like being serious with anyone from there.
I was on there to around.
I wanted men to message me and make me feel good.
Yeah.
And it's selfish because they have an expectation that it's going to go somewhere, and then it never does.
Yeah.
And then men are just like, why the am I doing this? Like, I'm putting myself out there and I'm trying and I'm letting them know like what I have to offer. And all these women are just kind of like, get bent, like, thanks for dinner, and move on with their lives, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I feel like there should not be an expectation on men to pay for dinner, especially if it's a first date. You should split it.
Did we split ours?
I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember.
I don't remember,
it's been
but I
fucking
also
7
went
years.
back to your house with you, so you better pay for dinner.
But
I don't mean this as a brag, but mine and Grayson's relationship, and I think that's why it's so strong, for at least for me, it's like, it was 100% organic. Like, it was literally, she walked into my life and, like, we started talking, and then it was... Yeah.
Ours was a little opposite, but, like we were, like, infatuated.
Yeah, and what matters is where you got to from it, not how it started, you know?
Yeah. And there was a point where I mean, we've said this on the podcast multiple times, I'm pretty sure, but, like, there was a point where, like, we were not together technically. Because I was
for
about to
all of 5 days.
Yeah, well, because I was going to get in trouble.
I don't even
But I was in her
count it.
room every day.
Yeah,
taking naps in her room.
Yeah,
like I could not leave.
I was feeding him lunch. He was in my room. Like by that weekend, like he had a party, and I came over after the party and stayed the night.
Yeah, no, like it was just done for me. Like I was like, you're it.
The only reason I even say that, though, is...
If only you had said that sooner. I had to bully you into it. Anyways.
The only reason I even say that, though, is because, like, what you said with, like, Tinder. Because I was at that point where I was like, F*** it. Like, I'm not going to pick up anyone. Tinder is literally just, like, it's a meet app.
Trash.
It's, But that was me. That was, like,
in the position I was in. And chit chat with people.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I had a point to that I actually forgot. It just came back to me. But I was at the point in my separation and my divorce when I was on Tinder that I was like, into myself the most, because I think you've said this to me before, is that there was only one person to love me at that point, and that was me. Yeah. So like my self-confidence was super probably over the top.
Yeah, you go into like God mode at that point.
Yeah.
And I know because I've gone through a divorce too and went through that chunk of, but it's especially, and I'm not downplaying yours, but it's especially powerful when you're going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm a badass. I faced this adversity, this hard thing, and I did it by myself, and I'm fine by myself. And you start feeling like attractive because of that.
Yes.
And so you go on this like quest of like, I'm just going to dominate everything that comes at me. And yeah, a lot of that is social media dating and Tinder and stuff. And just like blowing your ego up to this point of like, but then it like slowly comes back down and you settle again. And then you're like, okay, I kind of like want a partner. Like I can't do this alone actually. Yeah.
It was a weird time, like that first little bit on Tinder.
Yeah. My Tinder experience was different because I was purely on there to around and
I was too when I was on Tinder. I wasn't there to like find a meaningful relationship, and I'm mad at myself now that I contributed to that. You know what I mean? Because I like don't want to be part of that, and I didn't really realize it. Because it's a perspective you don't think about when you're trying to, like, you've earned some selfishness and you just want to be selfish for a little while.
Well, I wonder too, because I'm sure everybody's experience is a little bit different, but like, especially dating around military bases, like military men are trash. Like there's actually a guy I went on 2 whole dates with this guy. One was in my barracks room. And I called him one time to hang out and his wife picked up. I even went back and checked his Tinder profile. There was not a ring in any picture.
Wow.
Like nothing. And I was
slick.
And I was pissed. And I was like, what the dude? Like I'm out here. Like I never said I'm not looking for a relationship. I am not trying to be your wife. I'm not trying to get knocked up. I'm not trying to tie you down. I'm trying to around and just have a good time. And like I'm not trying to be in any stable anything, because I'm up in the head and I know that. And you're around with me on your wife. You.
Yeah.
Murder. Okay. We're gonna bring this back around to podcast cast.
Were you done with your podcast casting cast?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
That means it's one of ours turn. I was gonna save myself for the last because mine's gonna be a snooze fest because I am a nerd and like the tism's kicking in and like I'm ready to like
so I probably listen to the most podcasts. Including our own. I help edit it. But I have a friend at work who has a podcast as well, and she's only got like 6 or 7 episodes out. And it started being called The Devil's Calling. And she was covering cryptids. So like her first episode was on skinwalkers, which was kind of neat. Because I know we talked a lot about skinwalkers on our Halloween episode. Mm-hmm. and she's actually rebranded. So now the podcast is called American Boogeyman.
Oh.
Bougie man.
And her first episode, or one of her first episodes on that was on Albert Fish, who is a very famous serial killer. So I don't know if it's going to stay all true crime. I think she's covering some cryptids and stuff too. Like one of her episodes
It's just going to be spooky, scary stuff in general.
Yeah. But she's got like this really sweet voice. I really like listening to her talk. So it's a good podcast. The one I probably listen to the most is My Favorite Murder, which is great because it's got 2 comedians that are running it. So they call it a true crime comedy podcast. And it's just really good. They do all their research on the cases. So they cover 2 cases every episode. They both go over it. It's like a 2-hour podcast usually. And they do mini-sodes in between every episode where they'll read out like hometown emails that they get. And it started being like hometown murders, murder stories and stuff that they would read. And now it's like everything. Now it's like sinkhole stories. What weird shit did you find in the wall? And I love it. It's like listening to 2 people that are like I'm friends with. But they're like 50 and 40.
I wonder how they have 2-hour episodes and cover 2 large murder cases and stay on topic, because we cannot stay on topic.
No.
So they do
anything.
They do like half an hour of bullshit at the beginning of their episode, and then they get into it and they just tell their story.
Lock onto it.
Yeah. And like they might ask like a couple of questions in between, but for the most part, they like really stick to it. I think they also edit out a lot of like the BS.
That's probably the difference too, is like when you're doing a true crime thing, I feel like you're just telling a story that you know the questions are going to get answered as you go, so you don't like interrupt as much, whereas like we're having like almost mini debates all the time.
It's a very different kind of podcast.
The funnest times I think we have.
Me too. I always love all of our off-topic stuff the best.
But their podcast has been going for like 7 years at this point, and I've listened to over 300 episodes.
Wow.
And they're like, they used to be about an hour, so I would be able to listen to one on my way to work when I worked like on the other side of Atlanta. So that was great. And they have a podcast network called Exactly Right. And so I've listened to some of the ones on there. But the one I really like is called This Podcast Will Kill You. And
I've heard of that one.
These 2 girls that are both, what is the job description? I want to make sure like I say it right if I can. Don't make fun of my nose or me poking my nose. Oh, gosh. It doesn't say... Oh, epidemiologists. They're both epidemiologists, like, for their careers.
That's skin scientists?
No, bacteria and viruses.
That's what I was thinking, epidermis.
Goodness
Your epidermis is showing.
You want to epidermis?
No. Oh. I don't know what that means.
Wait, what did you say?
You want to epidermis?
You have an epic dermis, baby.
Anyways... but they get really cool. So they actually pull like old like written sources of like what it's like to survive or like live through a disease. So like they've done like the plague and tuberculosis.
Those are super interesting.
So I read like diary entries and stuff
on consumption that Morbid did, and I was like, this might be a topic that I would like to listen to. Yeah,
my most favorite is their episode on rabies. It's so interesting. I would not shut up about it for like 2 days straight.
Yeah, you've told me about it a couple times. I still haven't watched it.
So interesting. But yeah, and it's cool. And they make little like cocktails for each one and name it after the disease.
That's cool.
And like post it and a mocktail on their Instagrams. And like they go through the history of it, how it responds to the human body and why it does what it does. And like how it's cured or if it's cured. And like they started that podcast before COVID. So they have a ton of episodes like keeping up with current viruses in the world and stuff. That's pretty cool. And yeah, those are my biggest ones. I do have Morbid on my like to watch list.
Morbid's great.
To listen. Yeah. Oh, and then like my like throwaway podcast I listen to is I Spent a Day With by Anthony Padilla. And he just like interviews random people. And I just like him and like listening to him talk to people.
Very nice.
Hell yeah.
You want a cookie?
2 guys chilling in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Wow.
That's all I can think about when I hear Anthony Padilla. That and Smosh.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was
not know
Smosh.
I did not know that.
he was the
either.
co-host of Smosh before he told...
I know who Smosh is, but I didn't know it was him.
What's the other guy from Smosh's name? No.
Anthony Padilla?
I have no idea because I didn't watch Smosh.
But he pretty much was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So, bye.
Oh.
You know. Yeah.
That's where they do the weird skits, right?
Yeah, funny, weird skits. Now they don't do like many skits anymore. Now they do the try not to laugh.
Were they
Yeah,
the ones that
that's
did
what I'm talking
the
about.
sex education song?
Yeah.
This is sex education.
And they do like the man spider episodes. Did you ever see any? Man spider! Those are old. That's classic
Just
YouTube.
stuff a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of it got on me.
Good.
I remember showing
Now
my
we can
mom-
charge money for this episode.
Wow. I remember showing my mom the sex education song, and she was like, well, I mean, they're right. Like,
Not with real spit.
oh my God.
Now with real spit. Roll for funny. Now with real saliva.
Do we need to start an OnlyFans? Roll for fans?
Only spittle.
Only spittle. Disgusting.
Roll for fans.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna sneeze.
I kind of need to sneeze too. That was the most pathetic,
expect that
adorable
at all.
little sneeze I've ever seen.
Threw me off guard. It lost all its power.
How did that scare me? It's like, I was waiting for you to go, achoo! You were like,
Oh no.
I was like,
Ours are small but many. Usually
Yeah.
1 to 4.
Mine
Yeah.
are massive and always only one. We are
Really?
sneeze enemies. Or opposites.
enemies.
I'm a
Enemies. I feel like that's going to be the name of the podcast.
God.
Enemies.
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 My
yeah.
sneeze is always a achiggy.
The
Yeah.
chiggy.
Achiggy.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm a multi-sneezer, and they like lose power as they go. So by the end, it's like a kitten sneeze.
No. The last one's always the worst.
Oh, yeah, usually actually, you're
No,
right.
usually you
sometimes it
wind up the last one like
Yeah, he's right. I'm completely lying. He's right. That's exactly how it happened.
Did anyone else's dad, when you were a kid, when they had to sneeze like at 5 o'clock in the morning for whatever fucking reason, they went,
They yell. My dad always yelled at Chew. Like, oh, Chew!
I can't remember.
Still does it.
I can't remember that, but I know that my stepdad every time he'd be like. Every time.
Oh my God.
It was always that loud and the word
That's so weird that dads do that.
yeah.
Achoo!
I'm
It's
going
just
to be
a
right
dad
there.
thing. As like once you have children, like you have to adhere to certain rules.
I think so.
Yeah. You don't just get the New Balance 504s.
I know. I told Ryan that that's what I'm going to do to like tell
Yeah.
him I'm pregnant one day. Just buy him those
Yeah.
and be like, there you go.
Yeah, you gotta put them in a box and just hand it to him.
Yeah.
You know I will wear them.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I would
But-
buy them for you because not only would you love them and wear them, but it'd be cute. You know?
11 and a half wide or a 12 regular.
Okay.
Oh my god.
But you have to buy them at least 3 pairs.
Yeah. One
And this
for
is going out
grilling.
pairs.
Going out.
One is grilling pair and his yard pair.
Yep. I was waiting for the cut in the grass pair.
Yeah. You gotta have the yard pair, the grilling pair, and your going out pair. Your nice ones.
Yep.
That are pristine white all the time.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Quit.
One just with just a
Goddamn
little bit of
crispy
meat on 'em.
505s. What you gonna do with house?
What the f has this episode become?
Freestyle. All
But
right.
you also got to buy them a brand
my
new pair of
God.
like khaki cargo shorts that are just above the knee. They
Yeah.
can't be below.
They
gotta
gotta be above.
the knee.
I've already
You
got
have
like,
to wear ankle socks, like
Tube
taller-
socks.
I've already got
half length socks.
I've already got like 3 pairs of those shorts.
And you
Describe.
need what
like
is
a
it?
teal colored polo
Yes.
shirt. Yeah,
That is exactly the color I was thinking of,
Yeah.
but I did not know how to explain it.
because you're
Aw,
colorblind.
He's colorblind.
But yes, tucked in with a belt.
And then we gotta
Oh,
get you transition shades instead of your regular glasses.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say like
They also have to be
transgender shit.
frameless transitions.
Yeah, frameless transitions.
Yeah.
Oh my
I had
God.
transitions already before. I hated them. God, I hated
They're like,
transitions.
I don't mean to be rude, but they're the nerdiest looking
Oh,
thing
yeah.
to me.
Rectangle glasses are the nerdiest fucking
I had them in
glasses.
I
high
don't mind
school.
rectangle glasses at all, especially yours that are rimmed. I don't
Yeah.
really like rimless glasses, but like, yeah.
Wyan, what podcast do you like?
I don't watch any of the podcasts. I watch our podcast every single week because I edit the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's your boy. No, for real, I don't really watch many podcasts. The only podcasts I do watch are snippets and clips from my favorite comedians. So, like, I have to watch Tom Segura's Your Mom's House. Oh my God, Your Mom's House is hilarious. It's Tom Segura and his wife. I don't watch the entire thing ever. I just do like the clips.
I thought it was originally just his wife's podcast, and then he started doing it with her.
It's both of them. They started it together. Now she has her own podcast, and he has his own podcast.
Okay, that must be what I'm thinking of.
He's got one like with Bert Kreischer. It's Two Bears in a Cave, and then they've got
Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah, Two Bears, One Cave.
Hilarious.
Yeah. But anyway, it's Your Mom's House.
I forgot to mention that one because I watch that one fairly frequently.
Yeah, they're hilarious. Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura together. Oh my God.
They just feed off of each other.
Yes.
Nice.
Christ. This
enough beer for you.
I think this is like the burpiest episode we've had.
And I normally burp a lot, and I haven't really been this time.
I silenced a couple of them.
Because I'm drinking flat water this time.
And then...
No bubbles.
No bubbles.
Anything Theo Von features in as far as podcasts? Because he's in... Of course, he's in his own podcast. He's in... He's in multiple comedians' podcasts, The Fighter and the Kid, and then of course he's been on Joe Rogan's podcasts. They're being us as I'm talking now. They're the boys.
Y'all earned it.
That's all right. I don't care. And then that's really all I do as far as podcasts. I was going to really deep dive nerdy stuff about the podcast and like just pretend like everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about and keep rolling through it. Is that?
Yeah,
sure.
Go ahead.
All right, cool.
Send it.
So, starting off on podcasts, you don't need really expensive and cool equipment to make it work. You can just, as long as you have microphones.
Hang on. I was really confused for a second, and I was just like, yeah, do whatever you're going to do. So, how to set up and run a podcast?
Yeah, how to set up and run it, yeah. I mean,
if you're interested in podcasting.
I was there with you.
And this is from the vision
Dummies.
of somebody who doesn't watch or listen to podcasts. I just have the tism, and I can see one thing one time and be like, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't explain it. She like quizzes me about movies that I've never seen, and I'm able to like quote. And she's like, what the f-? Anyway, I don't watch podcasts. I don't listen to podcasts. I know how to set up and run a podcast.
Yeah.
So anyway, you don't need anything expensive. You don't need anything crazy. You don't need mic arms. You don't need...
These were $10?
Yeah.
$12?
You don't need anything special. A lot of these things are kind of like nice to haves. What you do need is you need a multi-channel mixer to be able to plug in multiple microphones into. So their microphones that they are using...
the stroke.
Ours are cheap, too, and we still sound good.
Not my microphone.
Yeah.
No, your microphone is...
As he strokes it.
But our ND threaded earlier. But my microphone was purchased years ago for recording vocals for a band. I've had it for probably 5 or 6 years now, the SM7B. It's a phenomenal microphone. My wife said so.
Did I?
No, I'm doing a Trump impression. It's a phenomenal.
Huge.
These microphones I got from a pawn shop probably close to 10 years ago, and I've had them. A microphone is a microphone. Doesn't matter. They all do the same thing. They're a speaker in reverse. A sound wave hits it, it moves, it records it. So,
we started off just using like the cheapest Yeti mics.
The cheap Yeti microphones.
And it still sounded good.
Yeah, I remember we were sitting at a little plastic table with 2 of us on each side, and we were just like talking ASMR into the fucking microphone with headphones on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that works exactly the same. The only reason you switch to microphones is because if you don't have a microphone set up like this when you're talking, it ends up sounding like this. I'm going to edit something into that.
Yeah.
So you run everything into a multi-channel mixer, and then it runs into a sound card. And what we do is we record all the audio tracks separately. So Eric has his own audio track. Alicia has her own audio track. Grayson has her own audio track.
I have my own audio track.
I have my own audio track. And what you do is you get it into your DAW, your digital audio workstation, something like Logic or Pro Tools, or you can use like Reason. I use Reaper because it's cheap and it's easy to use, and I've used it for 15 years now. And you literally just bust all the vocals into one channel, and you hit everything with hard compression, hard fast compression, like 20-0 or 20-1 ratio, and you're really going to limit it down. I told you this is going to be a Snorefest.
I've been yawning the whole podcast.
Snorefest.
I'm into it.
The only really special things you're going to have to do with equalization is depending on the person's voice, you're going to want to EQ their voice. And I bring this up specifically because...
Wait, what does EQ mean?
Equalization.
Ah, there we go.
So it's like the best way I can explain it, when you're in a car and you're listening to your music, you know you can change your treble and bass. That's very, very like minimal equalization. You turn up treble, you turn up bass, turn it down, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to equalize specifically based off somebody's voice. So us three, I'm not picking on you. I swear to God, I'm not picking on you.
One of us sounds like Kermit, so I'm just kidding.
Our voices are pretty flat on the curve. There's not much going on with it. So the only thing you got to do is compress them to keep it equal. Compression just makes the loud noises quiet and makes the quiet noises loud. So everything's the same volume. That's all compression does. And your voice specifically, you have a lot of low mid and like the 200 to 500 hertz range, and that's where your voice carries. Your voice carries a lot. You could be standing.
It's because he yells all the time.
No, it's literally it's the low mid. It's not bass. It's not quite like bass low.
He does have a deep voice,
but it is like a low mid, and like just talking at this volume, you could be heard across the house. But it's because it's the way your voice carries, and that's like the 200 to 500 hertz range. So on a graph equalizer, you make like a smiley face, and that like 200 to 500 hertz, you bring down that like mid range right there. Or you can even do like some like dynamic compression. You can bring down the 500 hertz, like, and if it hits above a certain decibel range, you can bring it down a little bit. What's up?
My husband's a nerd.
I am a nerd, I tell you what.
And he's eating it up.
Oh, I f***ing love it.
I am too. I'm
Seriously.
just like,
no, I love
my
it
nerd.
because
I'm like, I'm surrounded by nuts.
Side note on this, I was looking at, we were doing some random budgeting stuff today, and I had Excel open, and I was doing some random stuff, and I was thinking about work, because that's all I was working on was just queries and stuff at work this weekend. I was like, I wish I could have Excel and monitors like this at work. I would be so happy.
He literally said, he's like, God, I wish I had these monitors at work. Because
I just have my two big 27-inch monitors right in front of me, and I've got Excel open on one of them, and it's only open up to half the monitor.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyway, you do all that, and when I say bust it earlier, just to explain it out, so you have
bust it,
bust it,
bust it, bust it.
So in the audio world and mixing, what busting means is you're taking multiple tracks and you're turning it into just one stereo track.
Yeah.
So we don't record. Well, we record everything. It could be in stereo, but I don't split our voices left, right. It just goes all center mono. So I take our 4 separate individual voice tracks and they bus up to one track, and that's where the compression happens. And then it goes to the master bus, and the master bus you then do hard limiting. And then if you want to, you can do like reverb. I don't do reverb because we have pretty like enough natural reverb. So
I was gonna make a joke, but I can't make it.
So
it's inappropriate.
And then really
long story. What have we ever been appropriate?
It's that inappropriate.
Ooh, too inappropriate for the Roll for Funny podcast.
Yeah.
Damn.
So really long story short, for those who don't know, reverb is just the natural echo that you get from a room.
It's short for reverberation.
So if I don't talk into my microphone right now, hey, my name's Ryan, I'm a geek, no matter, like, despite what everyone thinks, you're going to hear my voice from everyone else's microphone. That's reverberation. You hear my sound bouncing off the walls, hitting their microphones. That's reverb. But anyway, we don't use any kind of digital reverb because we have plenty of natural, and it's fine. Because we have to use a lot of gain, especially for like Alicia's voice, because it's pretty loud, and you got to bring up her voice a good bit to make it loud. And also compression and adding gain brings up vocals quite a bit. Anyway,
are you just saying that while I'm sick right now, I have perfect voice?
Yeah, yours I'm probably gonna have to do the low mid trick like I talked about with his
because
voice.
It's been like this.
Yep. I'm gonna have to cut.
Do I sound sexy?
Really long story short, the reason why you have to do that and cut out the low mids is because that would stick out. Every time you talked, your voice would cover up all of ours. So you have to cut out that frequency that's riding over top of the rest of them. And then the last part of it is the video, which we just recently figured out as this is our 6th video episode.
Something like that.
So if you're new to podcasting and you want to record video, it's a pain in the ass. And we finally figured out the easiest way that works for us. What most people do is they have 2 separate cameras or however many cameras they want. They record to their SD card and they bring the videos off their SD card, put it on their computer, and then they match the video, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm lazy and fat, and I want to work this the fastest way possible.
Oh, my God.
So I record all the audio and all the video to the same PC that sits in the room here with us, and everything goes to one place, and then we merge up the tracks all together later. As far as, like, editing the video, it's not like
we struggle.
Yeah, we struggle to get it done, but only because like the thing to keep in mind is if you're new to podcasting and you want to do video, if you're doing 1.5 or 2 hour long podcast episodes,
we are.
Yeah.
It like editing video is not a very fast process.
Yeah, I can attest to like he'll be working his ass off and it'll take him like 8 to 10 hours to get our podcast edited.
Yeah, it's about for a 2 hour podcast, it's close to 8 to 10 hours.
Don't know if you've ever said it, but it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
It really is.
Yeah.
I love our editing.
Seriously.
And it's literally getting better and better every episode.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Die laughing every time.
And the reason I underestimated it and I was like, yeah, I will do this 100% was because I've edited enough videos where I thought it was like, oh, it's going to be a quick process, but I didn't take into consideration everything I've ever edited was like a 6-minute music video for my band. And a 6-minute video takes like 2 hours, 3 maybe to get it right. So, editing video, you don't have to buy Adobe Premiere. You don't have to buy a bunch of crazy $5,000 applications. No, I use iMovie on a Mac.
I feel insulted because I am using Adobe Premiere. Because he does, you do the majority of the editing.
Yeah.
I do post editing. And I basically censor the episode for YouTube and I make TikToks. Mm-hmm. So I do a little bit in post and sometimes I'll edit out some parts where I'm like, we got really off track there. So I go back and do a little bit of it too, but I am paying too much for Adobe Premiere. So fuck you.
I agree with you. I will eventually switch back to Adobe Premiere because that's what I know. So if I could get Adobe Premiere, I could be a little bit quicker and I know exactly how everything.
But the point being is if you want to go out and make a podcast, you should go do it because it isn't.
You don't have to have complicated equipment. You don't have to have like the best skill set. You just you need a mic and something to talk about.
Literally, we started this with a laptop and 2 Yeti mics.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
And we shared mics.
Yeah, no, because me and you were sharing a mic, and then y'all two were sharing a mic.
And that worked.
Was it.
Yeah, it still sounded
we didn't have to. The only reason we did this is because I'm OCD, and I wanted individual audio tracks that were really clean.
And we had the equipment.
Already had the equipment.
Yeah.
There's 4 of us to put money in on it and everything.
Yeah.
So
the only thing we had to buy were the monitor arms and I think 2 more cables.
Yeah. And another ring light, right?
Yeah, we had both ring lights already.
Yeah, I borrowed a ring light from my mom, and I already had one. And then, even for the uploading piece, so we upload on Anchor, which is Spotify's RMS, I think is what it's called. And, you can actually record episodes through Anchor and do some editing on there. So you don't need all of this. You don't have to have the software. You don't even have to use iMovie. You can literally do it on Anchor.
Yeah.
There's free platforms where you can do these kind of things, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I guess the whole idea I'm even getting behind is none of it's difficult. It all just depends on how bad you want to do it.
The most difficult part is not getting off on tangents.
Also,
and
we'll let y'all know when we figure out how to get people to watch it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that marketing bit.
That's where it's probably going to cost us actual money or something if we ever want it to get that far.
Yeah.
I honestly just enjoy doing it regardless.
Seriously.
Of the people that watch us, and if people want to watch, they can, but if not, whatever. Yeah.
All right. Anyway. Well, on that note, then, thanks for listening to Roll for Funny. Thanks for coming
this is
and
about
listening.
To be bad.
Please, what? Why?
Because of the yell.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay, so please like, comment, and subscribe. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Please stop thundering that ass around. Save that for later.
Thunder cheeks.
You can listen to us on Spotify and YouTube. YouTube if you like it censored, Spotify if you like it spicy. I guess that's all we got. Okay, bye.